What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. Got another Northwest podcast for you. This is going to be a really fun one, a really interesting one, because this woman just absolutely admits everything that I've been talking about. She just proves 100% right everything I've been saying on my channel. And this is I'm not going to be responding. I found this video from Taylor the Fiend, who's a Red Pill guy. And I haven't listened to his whole video. He probably gets into it a little bit, but so far he hasn't really touched from the angle that I'm gonna talk about today. But I'm just gonna play what she says. I'm not gonna respond to what Taylor says, because again, I think that he might be coming at it from a little bit of a different angle. If you guys watch my channel, you guys should probably know what angle I'm gonna come at it from. But let me just jump into it, and let's listen to what this woman has to say. She looks to be about 45 years old. Hard to tell if this woman is married or not. Could be, but you know, if you look at her face, you look at the way she's smiling. She looks to be on medication. She looks doped up. She just looks weird. And this is the face of a woman who probably spent a lot of years on the cock carousel. What happens when they do that is they really sort of lose their soul, and they just become these, I don't know, man. I think that at one point women had an essence, and I think that they had a potential chance to love a man, but there's just something within female nature, and it's, in my opinion, it's evil. And I've talked about this a lot on my channel, it's something that is very solipsistic, but it's really almost like a cancer, and it's like, I don't know how I can make it any more clear to you guys, but hypergamy is not love. And if you expect all this crap out of a man, and you want this good man, and you want all this stuff from a man, which she's about to list, you just don't love a man. You don't love men, right? I made a few videos on this back a while ago. Do women really care about men? And my consensus was no, women don't really care about men outside of how men benefit them. Okay? Women do not care about men unless those men are specifically benefiting them. And that's solipsism. That's selfishness. That's narcissism, right? Feminism and all these camps and all these, equality, leftist bullcrap, they talk a good game, but when it really comes down to it, they're the most sexist. They're the most racist. Okay? Feminism is a supremacist cult. It's a female supremacist cult, and I've said that again and again. It really doesn't care about men. They really do not talk about men's issues. They don't care about homelessness, where 75% of homeless people are men. They don't care about depression and suicide, which is mostly men committing suicide and depression. They don't talk about how men are being thrown under the bus in the family court system. They don't talk about how men have no rights over the life of the child in a woman's belly. She could just abort without the man's say so. That's his child. She can just kill it. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about any of that stuff, because feminism doesn't really care about men. They act like they're for equality, but they're really not. Only insofar as it benefits them. And this is what I'm going to talk about with this woman, and it's obvious. It really is, and it's sad, and it's sick, and you wonder why. You wonder why they're like that, and the only reason I could ever come up with is that it's just for survival of the species. They need to have a good guy who's a provider in order to survive with the species. But here's my thing. Here's what I always say. Well, don't call it love. It's not love, because love, again, is not hypergamous. Love is, if the guy loses his job, all of a sudden he can't provide, he can't be a good father, well, you stick with him. That's love, right? But I don't believe most women would do this, and I don't believe they even choose they choose men based on the fact that they're banking on the fact that the guy will not get sick, or the guy will not become a bum, or the guy will, and then if he does, they leave him. Right? 75% of divorces are initiated by women, and top two reasons for divorce are irreconcilable differences and finances, and the other one is cheating. But actually it's 50-50. Women cheat just as much as men. So you would think that, oh, if women initiate 75% of divorce, then you would think that men would be cheating more, but actually it's about 50-50. In my opinion, it's more. I just think women are better at not getting caught. That's my opinion. Anyways, let's jump into what this woman's talking about and then just sort of break it down. It's pretty self-explanatory, but let's just watch it. If I can press play here. Shush.
Dear feminists, would you please stop ruining our society? Good men matter. Good men have a valuable and necessary role in any society, including ours. Good men provide safety and security for their families and their communities. They give their male children an example to model.
God damn. What's the first thing she said? What's the first thing she said after she said men play a vital role or whatever, men play a very important role? What's the first thing she said? Provide. That's the first thing she said. What's the second thing she said? Role model for a child. So this is your importance to women, guys. This is what your importance is. You're a provider and you're a role model. That's your important. And a lot of guys at that would be like, yeah, that does make me feel important. Really though? Really, that makes you feel important? That's not you. Anybody could do that. That's not you. That's just what you're doing. That's not who you are. You're not loved or cared for who you are, your individuality, your heart, who you are in your person. Because everybody's unique. You're not loved for that. You are loved for what you can do for her and her children. That's what you are loved and respected for. You have to understand that. And this has been one of my core tenets of my channel since day one, back in 2015 when I first started making these videos, is that men are utility. Men are a means to an end, and that is our worth in society. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I took the red pill and stepped out of the matrix. I'm only worthwhile if I can bring something to the table. I'm only worthwhile if I can provide or be a role model. If I can't do that, I'm not worthwhile and women won't want me. And I've had more than a few women leave me for that very reason. That's how I know. That's how I know a woman's love is conditional. That's how I know women are not fundamentally, essentially loyal. They're only fundamentally and essentially loyal to a man who can provide. It's like you're a car and she only wants you as long as you get her from A to B. Once your engine stops and you can no longer get her from A to B, she doesn't want you anymore. Now, I'm not saying there's not such a thing as pair bonding. I'm not saying there's not such a thing as love. I'm not saying that those things can't exist in that scenario, but only as long as that precursor, that prerequisite is met. You have to provide, right? If you don't, she will find somebody else who will. She's not going to go live with you at your parents' house. She doesn't want to do that when she can move in with a guy who has a house, you see? So she's just going to choose somebody else. You have to understand what this woman is saying. She's coming out and she's acting like, oh, feminists are ruining society, which they are. They are attacking men. They are tearing down the family unit. I agree objectively on that. On the flip side, you have to understand as a man what your worth to women is. So even though feminism is terrible for society, and I've maintained that myself since day one, feminism is the worst thing. I argue that it's probably the top 3 worst things to happen to America since war and slavery. Feminism is absolutely insidious. It's absolutely damaging. It's detrimental to the family unit, which is detrimental to our country, right? Quintessentially important to our country. I agree with that. But as a red pill guy, I have to stay true to, the truths that I know, and the main truth that you got to pay attention to here is, what is she saying about men? You are utility. You are a means to an end. Okay, let's go on.
And they provide their female children with standards that they're going to need as they mature and choose spouses of their own.
There you go.
And you know what? They are leaving by the thousands, okay? So these little videos of pleading, hey, womanists, can you please do something about your behavior? Society is kind of falling apart. They're falling on deaf ears. And the thing is, men no longer care either. Like, this is just a matter of too little too late at this point. But what is going on, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Why would you want to do all that when they don't respect you? They don't really love you, right? They only love you for what you can provide. They only love you for what you could do for them. They're only loyal just so long as you provide, just so long as you're taking care of them. Otherwise, they'll jump on the next guy. Right? So what's in it for you? You get to buy a relationship. Right? You get to buy a relationship. If you don't have money, you won't get a relationship. So what does that mean? That means relationships are bought. I lived with a guy when I was 21 years old who had a wife and 2 kids. And I asked him, and they had a pretty good marriage. You know, she was a stay-at-home mom. She was very submissive to him. He was a traditional Christian man. Got up every morning at 6 a.m., went to work, came home every night at 5, ate dinner with his family, spent time with his kids, was in bed by 11 o'clock. Did it every day. I asked him, I said, well, you know, can you impart some wisdom about marriage? Can you impart some wisdom? How, you know what? I can't remember exactly what I said, but I just said, you know, is there anything you could say about marriage? And, you know, is there any advice you could give me? And he just kind of solemnly, it wasn't solemn or frowning, but he just kind of said in a weighty tone, he just said, women are expensive. Women are expensive. And I didn't understand it at the time. Now I fully understand it. You get the job, you get the house, you get the career, then you get the woman because they want you to provide. And you would think that traditionally, oh, well, that's what a man should do, da-da-da-da. Well, maybe. But again, and I always maintain this, if you don't, she'll find somebody who will. Is that really love? Now, if she's with you and you're struggling, you got nothing, and there's no signs of you getting anything, like you're just disabled or broke or whatever, and she's just like, okay, I still love you. Like, that's real love. But how often does that happen? Right? I mean, look at what we're doing out here. Like, why are we chasing money? It's the sex drive. Yes, there is an aspect of improvement. We want to improve our lives. Like, we want to have nice things. We want to live a nice life, right? But it's also the sex drive. I think men know deep down that if we don't bring something to the table, women won't want us. We're conditioned that, but I also think it's our nature, and I have to stand against it. I wouldn't want a woman who wouldn't be with me if I didn't have any money. You're buying a woman. Women are expensive. I made a whole video about that about 2 years ago. Women are expensive. All right, let's go on and see what this little robot has to say.
Excellent at problem solving and innovation. They are skilled, engineered, and physically endowed to build the infrastructures that we all depend on. They put themselves in harm's way to ensure the safety of our nation and our communities.
Okay, well, here's...
You hear all that? It's utility. You're doing something for them. This is solipsism, right? They love you when you're doing something for them. They love you because you're doing something for them. But if you don't do anything for them, if you're not producing, if you're not providing, if you're not protecting, if you're not building, right? And structuring and inventing and innovating, right? If you're not doing any of that, you're worthless to her. You see? Isn't that weird? This is the function. This is the machine, if you will, that runs our society, right? The sex drive. Think about that, man. Why, have you ever sat down and broken down your own thoughts and said, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to wear nicer clothes? Why do I want to get in better shape? Why do I want to make more money? Well, it's so you can have some sex, man, so you can get a woman. But both men and women twist it up with love. Like, oh yeah, now I got the career, now I got the woman, and I'll call it love. Like, guys do it too. Wait a minute, hold on. Where was she when you were studying? Where was she when you were, to use an old metaphor, where was she when you were in the gym shooting free throws? Right? Where was she when you were practicing for 4 hours a day? Right? It's just like Richard Cooper always says, women stand around at the finish line and pick the winners. And yeah, she might pick you as a winner, quote unquote, over Joe as a winner, quote unquote, because she's more attracted to you physically, or she likes your personality better than she likes Joe's personality. But, and yeah, she chose you over him, but you're both winners. Think about it, right? She's going to choose a winner either way, right? Women sit around at the finish line and pick the winners, right? So she's picking you over the other guys. Yes, that's true. That's her individual choice. But you still have to have that precursor and prerequisite of success. You still have to be a provider. Notice everything she said. Men, build and structure societies. Men do things. Men are strong and they protect women and they're able to physically protect. It's like, again, all these things are selfish. All these things that she's saying are selfish. They're all means to an end. This woman doesn't care whether she gets Joe or Chris or Todd or James or Bill or whoever. She just wants a winner. She'll pick one of them. This is how women, oh, well, someone's going to love me, right? Someone's going to love you, but you're still going to be picking the winners. You're not going to be messing with no broke guys. You're not going to be messing with no guys who are just working low-end jobs, dead-end jobs, going nowhere in life, one-bedroom apartment. They can't provide you any kind of lifestyle. They can't really afford to raise kids. She's not going to be picking those guys. You got to understand. So when we say it's love, oh, I love him. No, you chose him. You don't love him. You chose him. And you might love him in the sense that, yes, that's the guy you're with, and you love him because he's your roommate, quote unquote, right? You share a home together. He's your housemate, quote unquote, and you guys have a legal contract with the state that says you're married and you're intimate and you have sex and all these things, right? But you don't love him. You love him, you don't really love him because love is loyalty. You chose him is a better word. Anyway, look at this woman. It's just like they tell on themselves. And really feminism is an exposure, because it's like, now they're saying, oh no, wait a minute, let's back up. We don't want feminism because we want our men to love us. See, this is the impact of the red pill, right? Now the red pill is impacting society because men have woken up. Wait a minute. We're tired of your crap. We're tired of all this solipsism. We're tired of this narcissism. We're tired of these loose women, carousel riders. We're tired of it. Oh, now you want us when you're 25 and you've been with 100 dudes. Now you want us when you're 30 because you got no other options and your eggs are dying. Now you want us? No, but we got to be providers and we got to be this and that. Like, this is why men are walking away and women are getting scared. Hey, wait a minute. I'm against feminism because I need men, because who else is going to buy me a house? Who else is going to put food on the table for me? Who else is going to take care of my kids? Who else is going to be a good role model? See, women love feminism when they're 18 to 25 because feminism says, hey, go do what you want to do. You're empowered, girl. You're a winner. But then when they hit 25, 26, 27, 28, and they're like, oh, shit. They hit the epiphany phase and like, my clock's ticking. I need to have some kids. I need a good provider. I need a guy with money. I need a guy who's going to stick around. Then their whole strategy changes. They used to chase Chad for the fun times, right? Oh, he's buff. He's got the big shoulders. He's got the trap muscles. He's got the leather jacket, the motorcycle. I want to bang that guy, right? And she chased those guys for 10 years maybe, from age 16, 17, 18. Oh, they're having sex as young as 15, 14 now, right? All those years of sex, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, all those years from when they start to when they end, she was chasing Chad, chasing the bad boys, chasing Mr. Rogue, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, I want kids. Her whole strategy changes. Now she's going with the nice guy. Now the nice guys all of a sudden are attractive. She was friend zoning the nice guys, didn't want anything to do with them because she didn't want a relationship. She wanted to be challenged. She wanted her emotions to be spiked. She wanted to pine after guys who didn't want her. She was only attracted to guys who ignored her. 10 years. Now look at this woman. She's 35, 40, maybe even 45. Now she loves men all of a sudden, right? Don't believe this phoniness. Don't believe these chameleons, right? And she probably has a little boy. Women love little boys. Women love men. Don't get it twisted. Women love men, right? They think men are cute. They're attracted to men. They want to have sex with men. They like men. They're interested in men. But they don't really love men, if that makes sense. They don't really care. They only love men as far as we do something for them. They only love men as far as it benefits them. And they love their sons. Women love their sons. I do believe so. But again, why does she care? Because she has a son and she doesn't want feminism to hurt her son, because now they're starting to realize, oh, feminism hurts men. But again, they only care not because they really care about men. They only care because it benefits them, because someday they're going to have a son, or they might already have a son. And they're like, hey, wait a minute, I love my son. I don't want my son to grow up and like this. And that's nice. But again, you got to understand, they don't care about men. They care about their men, their son, the men who are in their life. See, this is solipsism. This is selfishness. This is narcissism. They only care about men insofar as as far as men benefit them, as far as men are in their life. You see? And this is why these women are coming out and they're sitting here, but truth be told, this woman is still a feminist. You can see it in her eyes. You can see it in her face. She's still a feminist. She still believes that women are superior. She still believes that women are more important. Deep down, they believe they're more important than men, which is a fucked up thing in and of itself. They'll only be submissive to a man who can provide for them, and they will be submissive because of that. But deep down, they believe they're superior. Deep down, a lot of times they want to run the relationship subconsciously, subtly. You know, maybe the men will win out in the end because the man is the provider, and women naturally kind of have a submissiveness to a providership man. But that's still not love. That's still not the real deal. Because again, love doesn't... And another thing is, you know, love doesn't fall away, but another thing is, she'll love her children more than you. Right? A woman will love a child more than the man. And I can't say that every woman does, but the majority, most love their children more than the man. Because when you view a man as utility, when you view a man as a means to an end, it's kind of like a car. Like, yeah, you might love your car, quote unquote, but a car is a car. It's a means to an end. It gets you from point A to point B. That's how women view men. The man gets you from point A to point B. If he died, she would cry. If your car dies, you'll be disappointed. But you'll get a new car. You see, when you're utility, you're replaceable, right? And your life or your family or your children or whatever is more important than that car. So in the hierarchy of her importance of what she places on the importance scale, the man is a keystone. He's quintessential because he provides. His importance is quintessential because he provides. So essentially his importance is, or her life is more important than his life. It's paramount in an indirect way. Only because he's the provider, he keeps them afloat. That's why he's so important to her. But take that away, would she really love him? Would she really care? You see, this is what happens when men are put in these roles of utility and providership. Really, in the importance of the hierarchy of importance, she's the most important. Then it's the children. Then it's the man. It's a weird thing, but you gotta see it for what it is. She's the most important because women are solipsistic, ultimately selfish. They love themselves more than anything. Maybe they love their children more than themselves, maybe. A woman's love for her child is sacrificial. I believe that. She'll self-sacrifice for her child. I believe that. But she won't sacrifice for the man. The man sacrifices for the woman sacrifices for the children. But the woman uses the man as providership, as protection. All the things that this woman mentions, physical protection, financial, his ability to create and build, all those point to him being the utility. That's your worth. This is why I walked away from the Matrix. This is why I said I don't believe most women, the majority of women, are able to truly love. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying there's not women who will go and be homeless with a man that they love. I think there are, but it's very, very rare. Very, very rare. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Appreciate you listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.